This video is to show how to do a crank sleeve repair on this Subaru engine. Just a little backstory. This is now gone through, I think this will be the 4th main seal that I've done on this particular engine. It just will not hold oil, and it's stemming from a rear main seal leak. So upon further inspection this time, it's pretty grooved in there, which is, from what I've researched, prime opportunity to not work. So I'll show you how to do it. Now, there's a few names for these. I guess the most popular one is the SKF Speedy Sleeve. They have a ton of different sizes, but not the one for this particular crank. I don't remember the numbers off the top of my head, but I'll put them here. After some research, I found there's one, the micro sleeve, MS343, should be the one to fit on a Subaru crankshaft. So this one I got on eBay as new old stock, but I think you can still get them new for, I think, about $25 is what I saw. So I'll get right into it. On my previous attempt, I slathered RTV on here in hopes that it would seal. It still did not. So I'm going to have to clean that off. Now, on these Subarus, they have a little drain hole at the very bottom, and I'm going to do my best to plug that up just so no debris gets in. I'm just going to try to use some blue tape here, and we'll see how that works. I'm just going to use a wire wheel. Alright, that made a pretty big mess in here, so on the instructions it says to chamfer the crankshaft. This one already has a chamfer, so I'm not going to worry about that. The internet says to kind of just hit the crankshaft with some sandpaper just to ensure it's smooth. I was reading people say 800 grit. I have, this is 320, so I'm just going to use what I have. And this just kind of cleans off any corrosion or anything that may hinder the sleeve from going on. One other thing I'm going to do is, there is a little dent right here, as if something had hit it. I'm going to try to file that down. And it does protrude a little bit past the, I guess, internal diameter of this circle. So just playing it safe. If this doesn't work, I'll get a new engine. I have this little file. I'm just going to try to hit and take off that lip there. Not necessarily taking off a ton of material. See, aluminum's pretty soft, so I just ate right through it. Little one here. Make sure that there's no burrs left that might fall out and get into your oil. Clean it out once more. As I can. I truly have no idea if this tape did anything but get in the way. Oh well, there's a lot of junk on it. If you do this, I would recommend plugging that hole better, or try to flush it out and then drain the oil. A lot of this brake cleaning is draining down that hole, so it'll be in the oil pan right now. Super thin diameter. Has a little lip on one side that kind of will wrap around here, and then the other side is no lip. Now, it says to use the tool. It didn't come with the tool. The SKF brand of Speedy Sleeves, they will have like a lip on the outside, and then a tool that goes around the diameter that you can tap directly in the middle. That seems like a better design, but I mean, they didn't make one for this size. So instead, this brand says to do something like this. It can clear the crank snout while still bottoming out the sleeve. A lot of people recommended, some people said, online said heat these up. A lot of people said do not, especially with fire, as you might warp it. I mean, this is so thin that I could definitely see that being an issue. So you can hear it's a little gritty, so I'm gonna clean it once more and wipe it as well, along with the sleeve itself. Try to clean my fingers as well, just in case there's anything on there. So I'm going to try to get that on as evenly as possible. Which is proving to be difficult. Toss this over. Just give it some light taps until it starts seating. As you can see, it's already like not wanting to seat very well. The last thing you want to do is bend this, of course, as I am currently doing. I'm not super worried because it should just stretch right back out, but I'm also getting sawdust everywhere because I just freshly cut this piece of wood, so I'm going to spray it down as well. Let's give that another try. Make it centered as possible. I'll see if I can get it at all with my hands. It's a little more progress, I'd say, as it's holding itself on. Alright, seems to be going on. Just gonna try to be as even as possible. So we can maybe get a better angle too. I believe in the instructions it says don't worry about overhang. As you can tell, it's kind of smashing in there. I would recommend probably not wood. Try to get the correct installation tool, but here we are. Clearly not the greatest install ever. This is now officially a how not to video. Not a great install. So as you can see, it's installed properly most of the way, but then here it just folded over a little too soon. So it seems tight. That's not gonna fall off. It says due to the nature of how thin this is, it doesn't interfere with flywheel or flex plate. I think I'm still gonna trim off just a touch of the top section here, and I think I'm just gonna run it as is. Alright. Final clean. Now, we did take some off the actual crank. I'm not terribly worried. There's still plenty of surface. It's not going to cause the flywheel to wobble or anything. In case any metal did make it down the hole, I'm going to allow it a lot to drain, so hopefully it makes the oil pan. Now, obviously this has turned into a how not to video. I'm still going to run it as is. This is a junkyard motor. I think I spent $80 on the short block. Resurfaced the heads myself, so I'm not out much. If needed, I'll just pull the motor again. Use NA Subarus, it's pretty easy to do. So I'll go ahead and install the rear main seal now, and I'm going to add some extra flair, if you will. Alright, so now the installation of the rear main seal itself. The instructions say that the sleeve needs to be greased while you install the seal for a proper installation. I'm going to try to get enough on there to make it go on properly. In my particular case, the rear main seal fell out once. Well, twice actually. Third time it didn't. That's because I RTV'd it in. I don't know if that's a function of the leaking or if this motor has issues otherwise. What I'm going to do is RTV the outside just so I know it stays on forever. I'm just going to go pretty thin, but enough, I guess. Try to clean it off the back edge there. Big mess here. Try not to combine the slippery with the sticky. Let's see how well that works. Failed. To those cringing at home, trust me, I am too. Okay. Pretty awful. That's okay, I guess. Go ahead and install this now. Now, it's already catching down here. I don't know if that comes through on the camera or not. So I'm going to try to install it here first, because that's kind of where it might be rough and jagged. Use this to make sure that it seats properly. Seems to be going in fine everywhere else. I don't see it folding over anywhere else, so go ahead and use this as a handy tool again. Try to hammer it in now. You want this just to be flush with this outer ring. So if you just use a block of wood, just don't touch it to the crankshaft and make sure it bottoms out once it hits said outer ring. As long as it doesn't leak, I'm okay. It's a pretty ugly car. A little more just on the outside. Try not to touch the actual crankshaft itself. Just gonna slather some more on. This is kind of a last-ditch effort to not have to replace the engine. I read good things about these speedy sleeves, so this is more learning and than instructional, I would suppose. And maybe I'll do an update 3 days from now when it will not hold oil again. Who knows? But I'm going to let this dry before even attempting to spin the motor over. I'll go ahead and install the the flywheel and everything. Alright, well, here's to a horrible hack job that cost $12 because I bought it on eBay, and probably too many hours of time. So there we go. Alright, so I just wanted to give a quick update. It's been well over a year since this repair, and the car has been running great. It initially, after the repair, it did burn some oil, so I thought it failed, being as much of a hack job as it was, but after a little while, I think all the residual oil burned off, and it was actually able to seal properly. So,
Nice.
like I said, it's been over a year, and these are some of the shenanigans I've done since.